Welcome to ZoomInData. Hello everyone. Thank you for joining this professional Azure Logic Apps series designed for developers, architects, solution designers, and anyone preparing for Azure certifications or real-world implementations. In this first video, titled Azure Logic Apps, Complete Introduction and Overview, we will establish a solid foundation by covering the definition and core purpose of Azure Logic Apps as a cloud integration platform, its serverless architecture, key benefits, and primary components including workflows, triggers, actions, and connectors, common enterprise use cases, hybrid integration capabilities, and the latest advancements such as AI agent orchestration and Model Context Protocol, MCP, servers. This session will equip you with clear, structured knowledge essential for interviews, solution design, and further videos in the series. If you find this content valuable, please subscribe to ZoomInData and enable notifications to stay updated with the complete series. What is Azure Logic Apps? Azure Logic Apps is a fully managed, cloud-based integration platform as a service, IPaaS, provided by Microsoft Azure. It enables organizations to design, automate, and orchestrate scalable workflows that integrate applications, data, services, systems, and AI across cloud, on-premises, and hybrid environments using a low-code approach. As of 2026, it supports advanced agentic workflows that allow orchestration of autonomous and conversational AI agents. Why is Azure Logic Apps considered serverless? Azure Logic Apps is serverless because Azure automatically handles infrastructure provisioning, scaling, availability, and maintenance. You only pay for what you use, execution based in consumption model, with no need to manage servers or runtime environments. This lets developers focus purely on business logic and workflow design. What are the primary benefits of using Azure Logic Apps? Rapid development with a visual designer and over 1,400 pre-built connectors for quick integrations. Seamless support for cloud, on-premises, and hybrid scenarios using gateways or dedicated hosting. Built-in enterprise features like security, compliance, monitoring, and scalability for production workloads. How does Azure Logic Apps differ from writing custom code for integrations? It replaces traditional coding with a drag-and-drop visual designer and pre-built operations. Connectors and actions serve as reusable building blocks, reducing development time significantly. While custom code is possible via inline code or Azure Functions, the platform minimizes the need for it. What is a workflow in Azure Logic Apps? A workflow is the core unit that defines an automated business process as a sequence of steps. It starts with a trigger and includes actions, conditions, loops, and branches. Workflows can be stateful, persisting history, or stateless, lightweight and faster. Explain the role of a trigger in a Logic Apps workflow. A trigger is the starting point that fires the workflow based on an event or schedule. Types include polling, checks periodically, and webhook, push-based for real-time. Common examples: recurrence for scheduled runs, HTTP request for API calls, or service-specific like new email arrival. What are actions in Azure Logic Apps? Actions are individual steps executed after the trigger in a workflow. They perform operations like sending data, transforming content, or calling external services. Include built-in actions for control flow, conditions, loops, and data operations, JSON parsing, variables. What are connectors, and why are they important? Connectors are pre-built interfaces providing triggers and actions for integrating with external services. Azure offers over 1,400 managed connectors, e.g., Office 365, Salesforce, SQL, plus built-in and custom ones. They eliminate custom API development, enabling fast and secure connections. Name some common real-world use cases for Azure Logic Apps. Automating approval processes, like sending notifications via email or Teams. Syncing data between systems, such as CRM to database or SaaS apps. Handling B2B integrations, order processing, or event-driven notifications. What are the two main types of Logic Apps? Consumption. Multi-tenant, pay-per-execution, ideal for simple or variable workloads. Standard. Single-tenant, dedicated resources, supports advanced features like VNet integration. Choice depends on scale, performance, and hosting needs. How does Azure Logic Apps support hybrid integrations? Uses on-premises data gateways for secure access to local systems. Standard plans offer hybrid deployment on customer-managed infrastructure. Enables seamless connectivity across cloud and on-premises without exposing endpoints. What is the Visual Designer, and how is it used? The Visual Designer is a graphical tool in Azure Portal for building workflows via drag and drop. Supports code view for JSON editing and advanced customization. Ideal for rapid prototyping and collaboration. Can Azure Logic Apps integrate with AI services? Yes, it supports Azure OpenAI connectors and AI agent workflows. Workflows can orchestrate autonomous or conversational AI agents. Latest features include converting workflows to MCP servers for AI agent interactions. What role do integration accounts play in Logic Apps? Integration accounts store B2B artifacts like partners, agreements, maps, and schemas. Essential for enterprise integrations involving ED, X12, EDI, FACT, or XML processing. Provides centralized management for trading partner scenarios. How can you add custom code to Logic Apps? Use inline code actions for JavaScript or other supported languages. Integrate Azure Functions or Power Automate for complex logic. Create custom connectors for unique APIs. What are built-in connectors versus managed connectors? Built-in connectors run natively in the Logic Apps runtime, e.g., data operations, Azure services. Managed connectors are Microsoft-hosted for third-party services, e.g., Twitter, Dropbox. Built-in offer better performance. Managed provide broader ecosystem coverage. How does error handling work in Azure Logic Apps? Use scopes, run after configurations, and retry policies for robust handling. Actions can terminate, continue, or trigger fallbacks on failure. Failed runs are visible in history for easy debugging and resubmission. What monitoring and management features are available? Runs history shows detailed inputs, outputs, and status. Integrate with Azure Monitor, log analytics, and alerts. Supports CI, CD via ARM templates and DevOps pipelines. What is stateful versus stateless workflows? Stateful workflows persist run history and state for resumable executions. Stateless are ephemeral, faster, and cheaper for high-volume scenarios. Available primarily in standard Logic Apps. How does pricing work for Azure Logic Apps? Consumption. Metered per trigger, action execution plus connector costs. Standard. Based on dedicated hosting plan with included executions. No charges for idle time in serverless model. What is the recurrence trigger used for? Recurrence trigger schedules workflow runs at fixed intervals or complex cron patterns. Perfect for batch jobs, daily reports, or periodic data syncs. Supports time zones and advanced scheduling. How secure is Azure Logic Apps? Uses managed identities, private endpoints, and virtual network integration. Compliant with major standards. Supports authentication via OAuth and Entra ID. Data is encrypted in transit and at rest. What are some latest advancements in Azure Logic Apps as of 2026? Enhanced AI agent orchestration for intelligent, adaptive workflows. MCP servers for seamless AI model interactions and governance via Azure API Center. Improved functions for JSON change detection and hybrid deployment flexibility. Why choose Azure Logic Apps over other integration tools? Deep Azure ecosystem integration and vast connector library. Low-code approach with enterprise-grade scalability and security. Cost-effective serverless model with rapid time to value. How do you get started with Azure Logic Apps? Create a Logic App resource in Azure Portal and use the designer. Start with quick starts for consumption or standard workflows. Explore Microsoft Learn modules for hands-on guidance. Thank you for watching this introduction to Azure Logic Apps. If you found this session helpful, please like, share, and subscribe to ZoomInData. We will continue with the next topic in the series shortly.